Hello my friends, my name is Irvin, also known as Kobuman. In today's video we have another crash course of what I typically do every couple months, and that is combine some of my most recent videos into one, so it's a single place to start watching everything that I made because I feel like it's important and maybe it's easier to find for people watching. So here we are. We have starting off a couple of videos on VPN. First VPN video talks about troubleshooting VPN, some of the most common things to kind of look for and kind of explain to you what VPN is for those people who are new to IT. Video explains things to think about when it comes to working on VPN, and especially when a user asks for a password reset. Following on that, we have Zoom troubleshooting setup and audio issues that you may come across when it comes to Zoom. Following that is a video on how to deal with a broken monitor, and then after that we have a video on broken links, website links, and the last video is basically about installing Windows 10. I hope you like it. Please take a moment to like this video and share it with your friends. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them as usual. Alright, let's get into it. As somebody who might be working help desk or just tech support for a company, you'll have people who work remotely. And nowadays we have a lot of people working from home. So in order for them to actually be able to work, now they have to connect to the company's network. But now they can't work because they're not on the company's network. They're not physically there at the office. So they have to use VPN software to connect directly and attach themselves to the network of the company. This is why they use VPN software to do so. Now, what I have up right now is just a home user VPN that anybody can use. Not to be confused with a business VPN. This is the reason I have it up. This is going to be totally different. This home one that you can go to google.com and download free VPN, all it does is just hide your location, so that way it looks like you're connected to the internet from some other country. That's all it does. It's completely different from business VPN in the sense of access to the resources that you need to work as somebody who works for a company. All right, so this is a sample of regular free VPN that regular people use, not workers. So let me show you. Here's the list of servers that they pick. So if they, for example, run this and they, for example, click Brazil, suddenly now they're going to look like they're connected to the internet from Brazil. So they're basically trying to hide their location. This is not the same thing as a business VPN. All right, that being said, let's look at a business VPN, how it kind of looks like. When it comes to business VPN, you typically get something similar to this. You launch the application and you get a similar pop-up to this. It asks you for your username, your password, and a second password. So what is this second password? We know this is pretty straightforward. The username is probably going to be your network login or your domain login ID. It's going to be the same thing as what they use when they're at the office. So it's going to be the exact same thing most of the time. It's going to be the exact same thing as what they use at the office. Their username is going to be the exact same thing. I'm sorry for repeating that. I just want to make sure that you know this. And the password is going to be the same thing as they use for the office when they log into their computer. Second password, however, is different. This is usually an RSA token. So what is RSA token? RSA token is a one-time password that is always randomized. I think it usually lasts 60 seconds once you get that one-time password, and then it allows you to log in. You may have seen this with some websites. Some websites use one-time passwords to access your different types of accounts. It's very similar to that. So let's concentrate on this second password part of it first. This is kind of what it looks like. This is an old school way of getting that one-time password. It's an token that is randomly generated. So basically what happens is you press a button, for example, like here or there, and it generates a random number that you use as the second password. A lot of times these are either hardware tokens. This is what they are. These are hardware tokens, but there are also software tokens. Let me just kind of scroll down to show you that. you can get a software token that kind of looks like this. Here it is, this one here, where it says VPN token. This is something that's installed on their computer as well. So they'll have an icon on their computer with the VPN software. So the VPN software is going to be separate, but they have to launch this VPN token to get this random code to use as part of their login as the second password. It might be the way they put in the password, the second password for the VPN token might be slightly different, varying from VPN software to another, but in the nutshell, they're going to need that VPN token or RSA token, if you will, in order to get that second password so they can log in and access the VPN or the network that they're trying to connect to. You can also have a mobile version of that. So you can have a mobile phone. I don't know if I have an example of that here, but you can install an app on some companies have an option of installing app on your phone that generates this random token. So that's the first thing to be concerned about when it comes to connecting through VPN, when it comes to customer connecting to the VPN. So this is the main thing that you see when it comes to VPN with help desk when people call in or contact the help desk. Most of the time they're going to say, I can't connect to the VPN. The main thing to learn when you work for some company is to learn how they are connecting. That's the main thing. Now let's move on to other things. Let's look at VPN servers and how they are different from let me see here, from regular VPNs. This is kind of what it's going to look like for somebody, for example, working in the United States. When they will launch their VPN software, they may get a list of servers that kind of look like this. And they're all going to be in US. And all of these are most likely the servers for the exact same company. So this is all the same network. They're all on the same network. They're just different location. This is very normal when they launch their VPN software. They will see a bunch of different servers and they may choose to select one of these. The reason you want to know about this is because sometimes some of these servers will be down. It happens. Sometimes there will be way too many people trying to connect, for example, to the same one. Let's look at the capacities here, for example. You can see that the Los Angeles one is the very first one. So people automatically tend to click on the very first server available. And you can see that in this example, there's 13% capacity already, meaning that it has the most, well, this one has a lot too, 15%, but people a lot of times tend to pick the very first VPN server for their company. Either way, if they're having trouble suddenly connecting to, for example, Los Angeles here, just ask them to connect to Miami, New York, San Jose, or Seattle. So that's one other thing to kind of keep in mind when it comes to connection issues. Now, the other thing that is very common when it comes to VPN connection is that software is simply not there. So you have to have a way to reinstall software, to reinstall VPN software for the user. And a lot of times what happens is a company will set up a website that user can log into before they are connected to VPN. So, for example, what happens is they would get a link, they would type in that link, whatever that may be, get my VPN software.com. For example, this is not, I don't even know if this is a real website or not, but this is kind of what would happen. They would get a link, and keep in mind, they're at this time, they're not connected. Their problem is they cannot connect to VPN, and they don't have software either. So what happens usually is they will have a link that they go to, and once they go to that link, they can download the software and install it. So you may have to help them install that software as well if they need admin privileges, this and that. That's just a basic troubleshooting when it comes to installing software. But keep that in mind. If they don't have it, there has to be a way to get that VPN software installed onto their computer before they're connected to the VPN. You see what I'm saying? There has to be an external access or a way to initiate the VPN software installation, so that way they can afterwards connect to the VPN and have all the resources available to them afterwards, so they can just get back to work and start working. All right, guys, I believe this covers the VPN troubleshooting when it comes to help desk or general tech support. Let me know if you've encountered anything else that might be related to VPN. I think I covered kind of the most common issues when it comes to VPN. Let me know in the comments if there is anything that I've missed. I'd be interesting to hear different scenarios, different options. But keep in mind, there are many, many different ways of initiating VPN. Companies a lot of times have their own proprietary software, different prerequisites, meaning they may have a different security. So some companies, as far as I know, may not even require a second password or RSA token, which is kind of silly. But you do see that with smaller companies that may necessarily have the manpower to set all this up and do the maintenance on it and keep up with all of that stuff. So it's going to vary a little bit, but in general, what I've explained to you is exactly the main things. There are exactly the main things to be concerned about and to learn when it comes to troubleshooting VPN connections. So with this knowledge, you can literally go, for example, to an interview for help desk, and when they ask you about the VPN, you can explain to them how VPN works in this type of sense. Again, it's totally different from VPN that you download from the internet to hide your location. It's completely different. It works the same way when it comes to connections, but it's not the same function, because here you are just hiding your identity from the rest of the internet, while VPN for a business allows you to connect to the company's network, so that way you have access to all of those resources, so that way you can work, so you can get back to work. So this issue happens a lot when person's password expires. Their password expires and suddenly they cannot get onto VPN. They can typically log into their computer, but they can't get on their VPN because they don't get that prompt to change their password at all. And they can't just do Control-Alt-Delete. This is where you can usually click change password, or it would just force you to change the password. They can't do that because they're not on VPN yet. They are disconnected at this time. So the only thing they can do, as they typically do, is just call help desk and ask for a password reset. But we got to make sure that we don't just jump into resetting until we do a couple of things first. Let's have a look how I handle this call, and I hope you like my role playing. If you do, please take a second to like this video. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. So user decides that they need to change their password, so they need help with that. So what they do is they pick up the phone and call the help desk, and it goes something like this. Hi, my name is Bob. Can you reset my password? I'm having a lot of trouble logging in. Can you reset my password? Sure thing, sir. I can reset your password. So this is something you would normally say to anybody who calls in and asks for a password change or a reset. So what can you do with that? The thing is, though, you have to keep in mind that when he's on VPN, he will not be able to take that temporary password that you've given to him and change it to his permanent password. Well, why is that? He's not connected to the same domain that you're changing his password on. So the question we need to ask him first is, are you able, sir, are you able to get on VPN? No, I can't. No, I'm not on VPN. I can't log into VPN. That's why I need you to reset my password. Sure thing, sir, but keep in mind that unless you're on a VPN, me changing your password is not going to help you. Now, just to make sure, are you already logged in to the computer? No, not at the time. It's not at the moment. You want me to log in? Yes, please, sir. Please log into the computer and make sure you stay logged in. I can't give you a temporary password because the system is set up in such way where you can't change it to your permanent password until you're connected with your VPN first. And in order for you to connect to the VPN first, I got to give you a permanent password because it just won't work. You can't use your temporary password to log into the VPN. And once you are logged into VPN, you can go ahead and update all your other systems by simply locking your computer and then unlocking your computer with your new permanent password. Unfortunately, yet again, I can't give you a temporary password because of the current setup and the system setup situation that we have. And that's the only way I can help you with that. I hope that works out for you. Well, that'll work out for me. I just, thanks for telling me that. I'm going to make sure that I use this permanent password, and then I just want to make sure I can get on right now. Thanks for your help. Sure thing, sir. I just wanted to make sure that you can get on VPN as a number one thing, so that way you can get back to work or do whatever you need to do. But yeah, is there anything else you need help with? No, I'm okay. Thanks for your help. I appreciate it. Yeah, you have a nice day. All right. Thank you, sir, and you as well. Have a good one. Bye bye. And there you have it, my friends. The only thing left to do here is show you footage from one of my videos on how to reset a password in Active Directory. Let me know if you like my puppeteering. I know you can probably see my mouse pointer moving the hands up and down. I hope this is something that people might find enjoyable. I just kind of overview of what we gone over. The number one thing to keep in mind here is that if somebody is trying to connect to VPN, they need to have a working permanent password. If their password has expired, they obviously can't change it when they're not connected to the VPN. Because remember, when you call help desk, you give them a temporary password, at which point they get a notification or forced to change it to a permanent password. That doesn't happen when you're trying to connect to the VPN. And if you're not on VPN, you're not going to be able to get that notification or that prompt at all. So you got to give them a permanent password. And if they decide to change it afterwards to something else, they can. So this is something you can mention as well. All right, thank you so much for watching. And again, here is my video on how to change passwords in Active Directory. All right, let's go ahead and open up Active Directory. And within Active Directory on the left-hand side, you can see a folder that's called Users. If you select users, you can see that bunch of different users and groups show up in there. So you can scroll down and look for that login or the person's name. However, the easiest way to look somebody up is if you right-click the users folder and select Find. In here, you can type in the name of the user, and he said Irvin _CAN. So let's go ahead and click Find Now. And here it is. We found the user. We can simply select it, double click it, and it should pull up user's account. So let's see what's going on with that. He said he can't log in. So the next thing we're going to look up is the password. So we're going to click on the account. If we suspect that user is locked, in the account tab here, we can simply click on the check mark like this where it says unlock account, select apply or OK, and this will unlock the user's account. Now we can get back to them and let them know to try again. Well, there you go, my friends. This is how you fully handle a help desk call in which you would unlock user accounts. Of course, there are other things you can look at. If you go to the account, you can make some changes to it when it's related to password. If you want to change their password, you can change it here. If you select user must change password at the next logon, is something what I would highly recommend in a business environment. So this is a part of security. You want the user to have their own password. So I highly suggest that you check user must change their password at the next login, because after you change it, you give them a temporary password, they should be able to set their own. In order to change the password, we have to go back to the users folder and then find the user and then right click it and then select reset password. However, this is kind of counterpoint to what I said earlier, that if this is populated with thousands and thousands of users, it may not be easy to find. However, if you do right click on the users folder, select find, and do the thing I told you earlier, is to type in Irvin CAN so we can find this user. Here, since we found it already, we don't have to dig through the active directory. A lot of people actually don't show this on their videos when they show how to reset the password, is that now, since you already found it, you don't have to dig and kind of like, your eyes are starting to dry out because you're trying to find this user. You can just find it here and then right click and reset password. And we're going to change the password to something temporarily. And then again, make sure this is checked. User must change the password at the next login. And then if their account is locked as well, you can check that as well. And then just click OK. And now it says the password for Irvin has been changed. But before we do that, please take 1 second to click the like button. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I will answer them. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So here's what Zoom looks like when you install it. This is the Zoom application installed on your computer. When somebody gives you just a link and you've never used Zoom before, and chances are if they just sent you a link, you will simply click on the link and the link will say, hey, do you want to install Zoom? And then you click open Zoom or install Zoom and it's going to install it. And then what you get and what you actually see is this window. This is the window that you would typically see first time you use Zoom. And then you realize maybe my audio is not working, people can't hear me or people can't see me. We're going to definitely talk about that. But also a first pop-up that you might see is it's going to ask you whether you want to use your computer as audio. So you have to make sure that you click use my computer as audio. So that's going to pop up and you just click on that. That's very simple. But then even then, if you don't have your audio set up correctly, it may not work. Let's look at the microphone icon here. You can see there's activity there. That means it's detecting that there is a microphone. It's picking up all those sounds from the microphones coming through. That's good. However, we may have multiple microphones. How do we know which one is being used correctly, or if any? So what if that's not happening? That means we need to tell it which microphone needs to be used. So if we click on this little arrow here, we're going to see a lot of stuff. And you can see I have a lot of stuff. The reason I do is because, I'm a YouTuber. I have lots of equipment. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that shows up. If you simply have a headset, all you got to do is find out what is the name of it. In my case, I have a headset and it's called Plantronics C610. So I'm going to make sure I select that as the speaker, because otherwise I won't be able to hear people. So now my Plantronics C610 is selected. So that's my speaker. That's what I'm going to hear inside of my Plantronics headset that I'm going to put on my head. And then same thing for microphone. I'm going to make sure that this microphone is selected. And notice it's still working. The reason it's working is because it's selected as same as system, and I have multiple ones, so it's probably picking up my microphone that I'm speaking to right now, which is not my headset. But for Zoom meeting, I want to use my headset, so I'm going to select it. And then I'm going to double check here, make sure it's selected, and you can tell that it's selected by simple, check mark that you have here. And that's one way to make sure that you're using a separate, like if you have multiple things like me, this way you can keep track and make sure that, if you want to use it separate from other equipment, you just have to make sure that it knows what you want to use. And now my audio is set. This is if you're using a headset. If you're using like a laptop, if you have a laptop, you have to make sure that the microphones, laptop, and speakers are selected. So if you're not using a website and just your built-in laptop camera and the microphone, make sure that Realtek is selected. For the speakers, like this, speakers and the camera. Since I'm not using a laptop, all you see is speakers and no microphone here. But if I was to, for example, switch to my webcam, and like for example, I have a microphone on a webcam that is called HD Pro webcam, and I'm going to select that if I want to use that camera. Now this webcam doesn't have speakers, so I'm going to make sure that Realtek is just enabled, which is my PC speakers, right? So again, don't pay attention to this last part too much unless you have these specific things. But if you're using a headset, make sure you select the correct headset in both of these menus. That way it makes it simple for you. But if you have a laptop, just a laptop, you won't have this many things in here. So just make sure that the Realtek is selected. But if you have a webcam, make sure that the webcam is selected and the PC's speakers. So now you can see how I've selected the microphone for the Plantronics, and it's actually picking up a little bit less of it because it's kind of about a foot or so away from me, so it's picking up less of it. Right now I'm speaking into something else. Anyways, that's the audio. We can certainly test it. You can test it here, test speaker and microphone, and it goes through this setup where it detects the levels of it, and then it tells you, do you hear the ringtone? And it's a really good way to actually make sure that your headset or your audio is working. So I highly suggest you use that for testing. And then you can also have, if you have a phone embedded, that's another thing. But you know, this is video specifically for somebody who chances are just installed the Zoom for the first time, and this phone integration is something else. So I don't necessarily want to talk about this because it'll be way too much and way too confusing. And then you can, if you click leave computer audio, that means you can just like call into the meeting and use your like phone, like your cell phone, you know, or your home phone if you have them. And then if you want to really look at the audio settings, you can click on the audio settings here, and then you can see again what is selected in just a different separate menu. But it's the same thing we did earlier, except you can adjust the output levels and this and that, you know. And then there are other things you can do, like use separate audio device to play a ringtone simultaneously. For example, if you have a headset but you want your ringtone to come through the computer speakers, make sure that this is checked like that, and then select speakers, Realtek. So now this time the ringtone is going to come through the PC speakers. There are a lot of issues, a lot of things you can do here, and then you know, just play with them and make sure, you know, kind of find out what your preferences are. And then, you know, like for example, you can automatically mute your microphone when you're joining a meeting. These are all personal preferences. You can go to advanced and deal in and, you know, adjust the background noise, but this is fine as it is. I wouldn't worry about it. Just kind of leave it at that. Otherwise, you can just cause issues, more issues with the audio. And if it works, you know, don't try to fix what's not broken type of thing, you know. So just make sure that your proper microphone and speaker are selected. Do a quick test on them and make sure that works. Now let's look at the video. Right now I just have a picture there, and if I click start video, you can see me here talking, and this is this is my puppet here, I guess, and I just have that for, and you can see me over here in the right hand corner, right there. You can see me just kind of talking and waving. So I'm the puppeteer, if you will. So my video is enabled here, but if I want to stop at any time, I can just click stop. And then if I want to select a different camera, I can certainly do that. And for example, select this HD, you know, webcam or whatever your webcam is. It's going to be listed there. Now keep in mind that if you have a camera open in another program, that it may not work at all. Like in this example, if I select my Pro webcam here, it's not going to work because I have it open in another program. So if I click start, it just doesn't do anything. It literally says cannot start video, fail to start video camera, please select another video and camera settings. I know you can't see that error pop up because it's on my second screen where my puppet is, and I'm going to actually switch to it, so maybe hopefully it stays there. Yeah, you can see it right there that there's the error cannot start video because I had camera, I clicked on a camera that's been used by something else. So make sure that no other program is open and using your camera. That's why you get that error, you know. Otherwise, it's, you know, it's pretty straightforward. You select the camera you want to use, and that's that. Now, and then you can look, I mean, let's look at the video settings here, what we have here. And you can set different options. Of course, select the camera you want to use again, but you can also see that you can change the aspect ratios, enable HD, you can mirror your video, you can touch up your appearance to make yourself look prettier, and different personal preferences that you want to show people about you. Camera is one of those things that is, I don't like using it for obvious reasons because I'm ugly, but some people like it. Some people like it. So, and that's fine. I personally don't care for it. Here's some kind of fun thing that you can look at, and that is virtual uh, backgrounds. So let me see if this works since I have a green screen going on. I wonder if it'll actually detect it decently or do anything with it. I'm going to select that. I have a green screen. Oh, wow. Hey, that's pretty cool, actually. Look at that. Would y'all look at that? All right, all right. Let me close it here. I'm going to start video. Hey, that's not bad. So if you have a green screen, this works really cool, doesn't it? I like that. That's pretty cool. It looks like I'm in space and whatnot. Let's change to something else. Choose a virtual background. Ooh, at the beach. I wish I was at the beach right now. Look at that. Would y'all look at that? That's pretty cool. Oh, look, it's moving. That's actually pretty fun. I've seen um, other people using virtual backgrounds, and it kind of looks off because they don't have green screen. But in my case, I have a perfect green screen because it's software. There's no cloth behind me or anything like that. It's just my puppet, and he has a perfect green screen because it's 100% green ski. And let's do one other. Oh, okay. Well, I think this one's the best, although it's not moving. And then there's none. You can see there's my perfect green screen over here. All right, guys, I hope you like this video. I think it's really fun to actually create this video. It's cool. It's cool. Like it's not that hard to use, but yeah, people still have issues, and that's understandable. It's okay to have these type of issues. It's okay as long as we know how to fix them. These are normal computer issues that happen all the time. All right, guys. So here's our ticketing system. If you haven't watched my videos on how to use ticketing systems, I certainly have them. Check out my help desk playlist. So in this case, we're going to work on this ticket from this gentleman here, and we're just going to select it because it's not assigned or anything like that. So the first thing we're going to do is assign it to ourselves, and I'm going to click over here real quick, and I'm going to assign it to myself. So what do we have here? This ticket is about my monitor is not working, and then there is a number and it says call me. And this guy's name is Mike Moser. So in this case, this customer really wants us to call them. So in this case, we're not going to communicate via email or through the system or through an instant messenger or anything like that. This guy wants to be called. So we're going to call him and we're going to try to help him with a broken monitor. Now, I know that a lot of people are working from home nowadays. So in this case, we're going to role play into assuming that this guy or this customer is actually working from home. So that way we can kind of provide at least current time type of situation. But then again, of course, when you do help desk, you will help people that are working from home as well. So let's give him a call and see how that goes.
Hey, this is Mike. Hello, sir. This is Irvin with Help Desk. I have your ticket about monitor not working. Now, just to make sure, is this Mike Moser? Yeah, this is Mike Moser. All right, sir. I just wanted to see what I can do to help you with this. So your monitor is not working? Yeah, that's right. My monitor is not working. I don't know what's going on. This morning I logged in and I couldn't. I don't know. It's just a blank screen. It's just black. It like kind of looks like it's dead. So I'm not sure what I can do here. Sir, do you when was the no, just to make sure, is your monitor turned on? Like, is there a green light on it or like some kind of indicator that's turned on? Yeah, it does. It does look like it's turned on, but I don't know what's going on. All right, no problem, sir. Now, does your now just I just want to make sure, is your computer turned on? Do you see any like indication on the computer itself that there's like a blinking lights, or is there any activity on it? Yeah. I know it's working. I pressed the on button and it's turned on. Everything seems to be working. It's just the monitors. I can tell that I can hear the noise whenever I turned on the computer. I heard the noise. You know that noise that comes up every time you turn on a computer. Oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a good thing actually. It's better than, better for your monitor to be broken rather than the computer itself. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so do you by chance have two monitors? Yeah, I actually do. Yeah. That's great, sir. So if you um, can you please unplug the one monitor that's not working? Yeah, I can try that. Hold on. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So what's going on? Chances are that only one of the monitors is broken and not both of them. So if you unplug the one that's not working, the other one should come up with a picture. All right. I'm gonna try here. Hold on. All right. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, it does. The second monitor does work. Yeah, I see the where I can log in and stuff. Well, that's great, sir. So thankfully, it's just one monitor that's broken. In this case, it really does sound like the first one, or the one that your main one is, it wasn't working. It was just kind of dead. And I know you didn't unplug anything before that or anything like that. No, I didn't touch anything. It's just, that's I this morning is just stopped working. All right. So the reason I say it's good is because this way you can at least work with one monitor for now, but we can certainly replace your broken one. So, I mean, there are a couple of ways of going about it. You can order a new one through the system that you have in place, maybe through the company's website or something. I think there's an ordering website, or if by chance you go to your local office where they have the IT guys locally, maybe they can give you a new one or something like that. Because I know you work from home. So, all right. Well, I'm glad I got one working. All right, I guess I'll just deal with this one or just work with the one for time being. All right, well, thanks for your help. Yeah, no problem, sir. If there is anything else that you need help with, please let me know. But yeah, it does sound like just one of those monitors is broken, and chances are that if it's an older one, that just happens all the time. All right, anything else? No, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for your help. All right, sure, no problem. You have a wonderful day. All right. Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
All right, so now that we have finished talking to the customer, the next thing we have to do is leave a note and even close the ticket in this case. So this is a good situation in which we can do so. Chances are, I mean, depending on the setup in your business environment, that you may want to route this ticket to his local support. It depends on whether he's going to actually go physically to the office where he works and get a monitor from there. But since we haven't gone through that with him and he doesn't know for sure, he can deal with that on his end. But of course, we're going to add a eternal note that simply says customers main monitor is not working. Let's see here. What else can we say? Can we provide more detail or about what we did, or are we just gonna say that we resolved it by unplugging it? Well, it's up to you. I mean, this is about a style of you, how you work. So, but I like to provide details. So what I'm going to do is type in instructed Mike to unplug the first slash broken monitor. After doing so, it appears that the monitor is indeed broken. And then we're going to type in workaround down here. And again, this is your personal preference on how you put these notes in, but you want to put down what you did and how you resolved it. That's for sure. How you do it, it's up to you. This is what I'm going to do. Workaround. He will use his second monitor for time being. Later, he will acquire a new monitor. And that's pretty much what I'm going to leave here, because what I did here is, you know, stated that indeed his main monitor is not working. Asked him to basically test it, because that's but the only thing you can do when you're not physically there. Asked him to unplug the first broken monitor. A lot of times you would just check the cables, see if everything is plugged in. But I kind of went with my guts here and just kind of asked him to unplug the first broken monitor. Because this situation also happens where people assume that their computer is broken, but it's actually not. What's going on is that their main monitor goes out, but their second monitor is actually just blank screen, or it's just black, right? So there's nothing going on. They assume their computer is broken. In this case, he kind of assumed it was a monitor, and he was right. It's the main monitor that's broken, and I instructed him to unplug the first broken one, and after that, it appears that the monitor is broken indeed. However, he has a workaround, which is his second monitor for time being. So we're going to save that, and we're going to change the status to complete, and I think that saved it. I always forget where there's actually a save button, because I use a bunch of different ticketing systems, and definitely at my main job I use a different ticketing system, and there's actual save button that I have to click after I complete it. Well, there you have it, guys. This is how you resolve this simple monitor ticket, but it's a good kind of shows you how to deal with a customer in a sense. And I hope you like my role playing. Obviously, you can tell that it was me doing the voice. I kind of went with Dr. Fauci's raspy voice. If you recognize that, or if you see that in that, let me know. But that's kind of what I went with. It was I think his name is Anthony Fauci, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, if you're up to date on the current situation in the world. All right, guys. So let's look at this ticket. I have this mock-up ticket that I created in this service desk system, and it's called "My email is not working." The description would say, "Hi, my email is not working. This is my link." And then they show you a link, and there's a link right there. We can click on it. We can check it out. That's perfectly fine. And then we have an attachment of an error. And if we click on that, it gives us a lot of clues to what the problem is. So I love seeing attachments of the errors, because they can save me a lot of time when it comes to working tickets. And we already, we can already guess what the problem here is, because we've seen this type of website before many, many times. Chances are we all use this type of website, and we can see immediately why mail is not working. Their email is not working. And if we click on the link, sure enough, it's not working because it's broken. But as we can see here, we know that we are just missing the L there. So if we just type in L there, just a sec, type in L, we can see that the email is working. So we can simply come back to the customer or user and just say, hey, this is the correct link, which is perfect and great. This is easy ticket to do, and it's no problem, right? The situation what I want to talk about is related to when a user or a customer reports a link not working of a website that you're not familiar with at all. So we can fix this one easily just by adding L. But when we go to a website, for example, imagine if this was the problem here, this link up here. Imagine if that was the problem. How would we even know that this part of it is not missing, just that 8? How do we know that? So we won't know that. It's not like we know every hyperlink for each website to know for sure whether the user is using that specific link. I mean, it can extend to, as far as we know, unlimited length. So how do we deal with that specific issue? So let's pretend that this is a website that's not google.com. That's something totally different. Now we have to reach out to the customer, and preferably this issue I would handle preferably over the IM or instant messenger if available within that company. If not, you may have to call the user and talk to them directly. That might be another option. And the way I would go approach this, I would reply to the customer. I would say, Hello, my name is Irvin with Help Desk. I have your ticket about broken link. And then if it's again, if it's a website that we're not familiar with, we don't know for sure. Because the thing is though, we click on the link and we also get the same error. So we don't know whether they're using the correct link or not, or if the website is down for sure. So we have to figure out first whether it's the broken link, because 90% of the time it's the wrong link that they're using. And it's not necessarily their fault or anything like that. We have to make sure that we're respectful towards the user or the customer, because this type of stuff happens, especially if they're pushing back saying that it's not, that is the correct link. But that's okay. We're going to get to that part here. So, hello, my name is Irvin with Help Desk. I have your ticket about broken link. And then we can say, if we're suspecting a wrong link that they're using, is anybody else in your group having this issue? Or we can say, is anybody else in your group able to access this website? Right? So we can send that off to them and wait for their reply. But since it's a website, we don't know. We kind of want to resolve this as quickly as possible. We don't want to necessarily wait for them to receive an email from the ticketing system for the notification, wait for them to reply, this and that. That's fine if you know, or if they happen to be watching their email all the time. But chances are they're not. This is why I'm saying you might want to reach them over the IM if possible, or if you want to call them. So a lot of times they come back and say this: customer, yes, that is the correct link, right? So they may come back and just say that. Then what do you do? And if you're still suspecting that it is that it is the wrong link, you can say, can you please check with one other person just to be sure? And then they might come back and say, usually after a little bit, because they are, chances are they are probably checking, and then, if they come back and say, yes, it's working for them. So this is your clue right here immediately. We'd immediately have like even higher suspicion that it is indeed a wrong link that they might be using. If this is working for somebody else and not for them, and it's obviously not working for us, that's because I, Irvin, and the customer, we both have the wrong link that was provided by the customer. And then if they keep insisting they are using the same link as me, you can say, can you please show me the screenshot of a working website? So you gotta be very careful with this. You gotta be kind of systematic in a way, but also respectful at the same time. You can't just tell them, no, you are using the wrong link. That's not the way you deal with customers or users on the help desk. So customer would reply with screenshot, and then you would look at that screenshot, and then chances are that screenshot will have that clue to you of what the correct link. So you're looking at it, and then you're like, well, unfortunately you are using the wrong link because you're missing like an 8. Or in our case of the email here, we can go back to this. If we look at it, we can say, well, in this case you're missing an L, so that indeed is the wrong link, unfortunately. And that would resolve that. Sure, at some point you will come across an issue where it's a website that the website is down for everybody. So and that's different. If especially if you're familiar with the website, you'll know, yeah, this is not normal, this and that. But in this case, this is how you deal with a customer or a user that simply has a wrong link for whatever reason. It happens. You just got to be respectful and be systematic about it and very professional about it. This comes up a lot on help desk. Wrong link tickets. It's very, very common thing. All right, guys. I hope you like this video. I tried to make it as a real world example as possible and explain it in a way where it's easy to understand. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any questions, I have lots of help desk videos. They're very useful, very popular. A lot of people like them. And I hope you have a wonderful day, okay? All right, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. I almost forgot to mention, guys. I have lots of written stuff that's related to help desk, network administration, system administration, all kinds of IT topics. I don't even remember how many I got, but it's on my website. It's at cosmicnovo.com. So if you go there, you can see that I have a bunch of different written versions of all kinds of different IT stuff that you can read. If you would rather read some of this stuff, then you can certainly do so on my website. So in my recent video, I was installing Windows 10 on the laptop that I've upgraded with an M.2 drive, and my excitement and happiness went quickly from that to being very angry at trying to install Windows 10 on it. I do realize that this version of Windows 10 is 1909. I feel like things changed, or maybe I missed something. Please let me know. This video that you're about to watch is completely unedited, aside from the part of me just adding this intro. But everything else is just straight through without cuts. And my experience was not very good installing Windows 10. The stuff and the amount of things they were making me do just to get into the Windows 10 was very infuriating at some point. And I hope that doesn't translate to you guys, but I just wanted to share it. This is unedited, fairly long clip, so here you're going to watch me basically install Windows 10 on this laptop. All right, here it comes. Now we're going to see how quickly we can install Windows on it. Keep in mind that the USB stick that I put on there is that I plugged in. It's a very old one. That is super slow too. So, but I digress. We'll see how fast we can install operating system on it. If it takes too long, I'll certainly edit that out. But hey, who knows? Maybe it's going to be pretty quick. All right. Select new install. By the way, if you're there's our drive. I'm going to create a new partition. Just going to leave it at default because I want to use all of it. And what was I going to say? So it creates a bunch of different partitions. One just has to be like that for just the way operating the system works. Do you want to proceed? Yes. And yeah, very important. Otherwise you won't be able to boot. And I get that question a lot from my video on installing an M.2 adapter. Very popular video. I want to say it's almost 400,000 views at this point. People always ask me, can I boot? Can I boot OS through it? Well, if your computer supports UEFI, then yes, that's definitely possible. But not just the regular UEFI either. Sometimes you got to have the most recent version. I'm gonna get, what was it, the most current one? 1.3 or 1.4? I'm not sure, but this one is definitely going fast, considering it's loading from a USB 2.0 on a really old thumb drive. That, matter of fact, I think I washed one time in my pants, because it's one of those that you put on your keychain, It fell off the keychain and it stayed in my pants, in my pocket, but I still use it. It's an old 32 gigabyte drive. Slow, but hey, that's going pretty fast, so I'm happy with that. What we're going to do here, I'm going to do a fresh install. I'm going to install Crystal Disk, and we're going to run that right away. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to install any drivers for this Samsung NVMe. I'm going to test it without any Samsung drivers installed. Whatever Windows gives me, I'm going to test it with that. What happens, happens, right? And I'm going to make sure I disable I'm going to put basically a laptop this into airplane mode so there's no Wi-Fi enabled. I'm only going to enable it just so I can install Crystal Disk. But I don't want any updates to start doing, because that's the first thing that happens once you install a fresh Windows copy. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. Windows 10, if you already had Windows 10 on the computer, you can just reinstall it. And if you get that pop-up, do you want to register and whatnot? Don't worry about that. As soon as you get on the internet, it's going to register it, so because it knows it's hardware based. So it's okay for you to install a new hard drive. I mean, they know that you're going to install a new hard drive because it knows. It's basically going to know that it's the same computer and it's the same key and same license. So you don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to be able to reinstall Windows on it? Yes, you can. I will definitely get a pop-up. Do you want to register it, or this and that? But as soon as I get on the internet, it's going to work. Same thing if you're doing a fresh install on a brand new computer. If you have a Windows 7 key, you can also use that to to activate your Windows. That's what I meant to say. Register, activate, not register. It's different. That's activate. Registering Windows is basically creating a Windows Microsoft account to register your product. But how long have I been speaking? This is almost done. It's 95%. And that's getting ready files for installation. We'll see how long it takes to install everything else. But so far it's going really fast, considering it has to read from something super slow. But that's okay, I think it's going to be really fast anyways. Wow, it instantly installed features. You can't get any updates because it's not connected to the internet. And wow, it's going pretty fast. Let me do a little zoom out action here so you guys can see the little progress bar down there. Oh wow, it's already done. Oh my god. Oh wow. Okay. See, it's gonna restart up there. Oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to shake the screen. I just accidentally hit the tripod. So it's rebooting right now. And should I unplug it? No, I was thinking about my USB stick. Hopefully it doesn't, hopefully it doesn't try to boot from that again. Well, I'm just gonna let it be. If I have to remove the thumb drive in a second here, I'll certainly do that. All right, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's make it happen. Let's make it for the people. Let's make it happen for the people watching. By the way, guys, since we're waiting on this, come on, man, click the like button. Click the like button. I know you got 1 second. Okay, so it's trying to install it again. So I'm just going to pull the thumb drive out real quick, and I'm going to cancel this. It's what I should have done right away. So once this happens, it's going to, it's done. That was, what was it? I'm going to have to check. Maybe 3 minutes or something like that. Maybe 3 minutes to install from a slow thumb drive. Man, I'm very optimistic to see how fast this is going to go. Wow, did you see that? That went quickly. All right. Now, usually, also whenever you create a new, like a login account for somebody, that can take a while too. Basically, your login ID. Whenever trying to do something on the computer and you got to have a login ID. We'll see how fast that goes. I suspect here very shortly it's going to come up to that window where it's going to ask me, do you want to activate all these Windows 10 features and whatnot, which I personally like to disable, but for the sake of moving this along, I'm just going to leave it enabled. Later on I can disable it. I don't like all that, too much data being sent over the internet to Microsoft or anybody else. I like to keep things as private as possible. Alright. The screen went dark and it rebooted once more. Give it a sec. Give it a sec here, guys. Give it a sec. It's almost there. It's almost there. All right, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I sound like here we go. I was gonna say I sound like Elvis, but I probably don't. Elvis Presley. There it is. Cortana.
I'm Cortana.
No,
How can I
Cortana.
help?
No, come on,
A little
Cortana.
sign in here, a touch of Wi-Fi there, and we'll have your PC ready for all you plan to
How do I get an exit out of this?
Use your voice or the keyboard along the way.
Come
and
on,
if you'd
Cortana.
like me to stay quiet, just select the little microphone icon towards the bottom of your screen.
Yes. Come on. Come on, Cortana. All right, cool. Sure. Skip. And let's do. I do need to connect real quick to my Wi-Fi, which is this one. I want to put my password in. I think that's right. Sure, sure. Come on. Let's see how fast we can do this. By the way, this is like one of the record times for installing Windows 10, honestly. This is all real time. I haven't cut once. I haven't cut even one time. I can't wait to see the test, the crystal disk test on this. I'm really curious. I don't want to see what's new on Windows. Come on, man. Just get in there. Just a moment. All right. I'm waiting. All right. There it is. Nope. I'm not gonna use Microsoft account. No. No, 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 no. Come on. I don't want to use this. Come on, man. Back. Let's just do that. Couple, man. I don't want. Look, I hate this. Get a new one. Get a new create account. I'm trying to create a local account, and it's being so difficult. They changed it. Create an account. No. I'm not. Can't believe I'm spending so much time on this. It was never like this, but I don't want to create a Microsoft account. This is ridiculous. Oh my God. Fine. Fine, create a new account. Unbelievable. Yes, I know, I already have it somewhere else. I'm not gonna... This is ridiculous. I'm gonna create a local account later. My God. I'm just gonna put whatever. Oh, I probably shouldn't, otherwise I won't be able to log in. No, not enough spying of you. See what I'm talking about? Get out of here, man. I'm just gonna put in whatever. Jeez. Can't believe it's making me do all of this crap. I'm just gonna pick whatever. Unbelievable. And now it's... Look, this is so stupid. Now it's asking me for my phone number. 555-55-5555. Unbelievable, man. This is so ridiculous. It didn't do this before, I'm telling you. Oh, now he wants a PIN? Now you want to... Oh, man. 0000. 0000. Oh my God. Can't believe you're making me do this crap. Unbelievable. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't know it was going to turn into this. What is the more? No. I didn't know it was gonna. This is. Oh my god. I did not think it was gonna take more longer than installing the Windows operating system. I hate you, Cortana. This is so stupid. Oh, look, of course it's gonna. No. Decline. Oh my, look at all this crap. Now look at all this crap. I wasn't gonna talk smack about them, but look at all this crap. All of that stuff is spying on you and trying to advertise to you and trying to sell you their service. I understand you gotta have a business. But man, this is too much. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. My God. It really ruined my day, this crap. Hopefully the benchmark of this, and I guarantee you I will disable all of that stuff. I just don't have time to show you guys this right now, but I'll disable all of those services. Everything's going to be disabled. This is ridiculous. Man, I'm this close. I'm this close to switching to Linux. This close. It's ridiculous. It may take several minutes. I better not. I just put in a new hard drive. New solid state M.2 PCIe NVMe drive. I hate you, Microsoft. Look at this. Wants to restart immediately. Hell no. Where's the store? Stupid store. I have to go to stupid store to install this thing. Search Crystal Disk. Come on now. Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can. Where is the Crystal Disk? I know it's there. No. Come on. I know it's you stupid thing. Oh my God. I misspelled it. There it is, Crystal Disk app. Look at that. They made it so difficult to find. No. Get. Can't believe it, man. I have to jump through all these hoops. Come on. Install. All right. This is insanely ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna do. Okay, airplane mode is on. I can hear the laptop doing overtime. So there's something going on here. Something is using power. Can you see that?